Hello, this is the Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. Feedback is immensely important. Feel free to reach out to me. Email is the best way to get if you want more of an immediate response. Quick response, that is. And there's always YouTube. Alright, so I'm on a lot of different platforms, so it won't be hard to find me. And also, word of mouth it really works. So, feel free to say, hey, your friends, family, loved ones, hey, I know about the show, The Harboring Light, check it out. And all they got to do is type in The Harboring Light, I'll pop right up. All right, so on to the topic of choice here. So I'm going to spread this out onto two segments here. First, I'm going to start out giving my thoughts about the show Touched by an Angel. And then I'm going to wrap up on Wednesday, with the facts on the show and a lot of the controversy that has been centered around it and everything else. And also analysis about the show, my thoughts, seeing it from a kid's perspective when it originally aired, versus, seeing it as an adult. All right, with all that said, let's jump right into it. Alright, so let's discuss Touched by an Angel. Okay, so this section, as I reiterate again, is just simply giving my abridged thoughts or, detailed thoughts or whatever about it, in general. And then specifics and analyzing the show and then giving facts, that's for Wednesday. Okay, here we go. So, it's interesting for a show like this to come around. But it really isn't something new. The concept isn't something new. You could say that in just with the aspects of family entertainment and, still having Christian undertones underneath it, but still worldly attributes in it. So what do I mean by this? Alright, so there was a show called I'm trying not to get stumbled. Michael Landon was the main character, and I think he wrote the series Stereo of Heaven, right? And he was really good. I'm trying to remember his name, and because I saw Little House on the Prairie in passing, so I'm not really familiar with a lot of the details of the characters, but I know he was, primarily there in the series. So anyway, it was a duo, and they're both angels. They were both angels in the series, and they came down. And essentially what they were doing, they were trying to reconcile and help people in their lives. And also by doing this, they're earning their merit. They're participating in earning their merit. And, moving along. And it was just a lot of moral vignettes about the golden rule of how to treat people. That's essentially what it was. And so you go on to a show like Touched by an Angel. They say, well, see whoever at hands, the network, whatever, what's going on. Say, bet, okay. So hey, it's the 90s. Hey, we're in the landscape of female empowerment. We're in the landscape of talking about, controversy is king, queen, whatever. Let's see how we can transition all of these things into a television show that is family oriented, but it still has a lot of underlays, undertones that is very worldly. And see, it's one of those things where it's quite interesting with this concept about focusing in on show entertainment that has to do with families, and versus entertainment that's specifically solely more niche, where you could say that Touched by an Angel isn't quite the niche market, or it was just overtly religious. It's kind of that middle ground of we're family, but we are, nudge. There's still adult overtones that are, a little bit saucy in there. But we're not quite, where everything should be on the, let's say, for instance, the TBN network or something like that. Because if I'm not mistaken, let me look it up, because that was the network of the day when I was coming up, little kiddo coming up, where you would absolutely find Trinity Broadcasting Network, where you would absolutely find that's all it was about was Christian entertainment. That's what it was, just religious all day long. Okay, so there's that, right? But also, it also begs the question, all these different situations that go on in the series about the aspects of how does faith play in a modern world, in a modern society. What does it exactly mean? Because when you look at the Bible, those who have the faith, those who are Christian, versus, that is the bear. That I wouldn't say it's a burden. It's just I find it fascinating. It's quite interesting, and that is what, unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to be honest about. The whole thing, like a lot of issues. I wouldn't say issues. A lot of topics of choice in life. Everybody, for the most part, interprets things very differently, even if it's something simple versus more complex. Yeah, go ahead, baby. Sure. Summertime. Yeah, grandma, spending time with grandma and everything. So, kiddos hearing that in the background. So they like to change their routine up. So that was that. Anyhow. So the thing is with that, and it's also a nice touch to have extended family to be around, because to add on to with my own personal life with my kids. Yeah, but that you don't have to ask, but
someone needs to watch us.
Oh,
gonna be busy.
Well, I won't. That's why I say y'all have to wait until your dad gets off on Wednesday or something like that. Okay.
Go to the pool.
Well, I can do what I can by watching you. Okay. But
you can be out there by yourself.
No, you're not gonna be out there by yourself. Let me finish what I'm doing now, and we'll sort it out. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, what I say? I told you. Let me finish what I'm doing. We'll sort it out. You're not gonna be out there by yourself. Okay. Okay. Oh, they love to swim. But okay, go, baby. Let me finish what I'm doing. How many times I gotta tell you?
Where's my clothes?
Hush. Let me finish. If you don't listen, then you're not gonna swim today. I said, let me finish. I'm sorry about that. But, to add on to with me, I was saying, the value of quality in family, is really important and for most, when it comes to understand the overtone understanding with most what is being produced when it shows like this and other things. But I can't stress enough the aspects of extended family, and then how that has an impact on the life of a child and the development. Because most of these shows here, and it's the reason why I'm bringing this topic up and talking and discussing a show like Touched by an Angel. These are programs that they do. Yeah, sure. Now go. These are programs that they do have value in shaping, young people's perspectives, and that is prevalent. Also, another element in the aspects of the influence of shows like these. So going back to what I said here, and so when we come to the aspects of the Bible, of religion, is quite interesting, because that is a topic where a lot of emotions are involved, because it has to do with the aspects of correcting behavior. For the most part, it has to do with the also amplifying and unfortunately having it as a breeding ground for those who get way too emotionally involved where they shouldn't, with this whole aspects of imperialism. My religion is better than yours because we do this, we see this, and you're not a true Christian, or if you do, you're not a true this if you do this. Okay, but when simply a lot of times, and then also overtly not misinterpreting what is said in the text, and that's what's going on, and that's what's wrong, unfortunately. When we come and we think about the value and the placement with Christianity, because so when you look in the Bible, there's a lot of very regimented, and there's a lot of things in the Bible that there's no kind of wiggle room. It's straightforward. The reason behind this is because it was correcting the ways in which the Romans, the Greeks, and so forth, most of the culture in which they were living, the way they were living before everything became more westernized, and Constantine came and ruled in the aspects of that Christianity is the way of life, or a way to the new rule of order of correcting people, because they were really. Hold on, buddy. I'll be right back. All right, so getting back into it. So, I mean, and this whole thing which is unfortunate, Christianity is the religion that gets at the forefront most of the time, good and bad, and also the aspects of people having sometimes taking the obligation, the thrill, and then just overtly trying to demean or monetize, or demonstrate. Let's say that being very destructive towards it, because there's not a whole lot of brute, pushback, or there's just not a lot of, or for instance, it's not what deemed quote unquote from other interpretations intellectual merit or something. And it's very weird, because that's just not the case with Christianity. That's just how I take it from my point of view, because I have my faith. I do believe, and I am Christian. But see, at the other time, like I said, at the same time, like everything else, not every Christian is the same, and not everybody has the same interpretations about things. But I will say the rule of thumb of it here is, if you really feel spiritual and whatever calls you to your spirituality, you should, do your best to see it for what it is. I mean, and, a lot of situations here, especially when I was growing up, and then, of course, when you're a kid, it has to be, that's really the responsibility of an adult, of a reasonable adult to, guide and interpret things in a way that is protective of the child. And so, okay, yeah, at that sense, it's supposed to be, you see Christianity in a different light because you're looking at it from the lens of a child. But when you move forward, and then you get older, and you start to think differently, and you have different worldviews and all of that, and then when it gets stuck in the same sort of mentality, sugarcoating, for instance, really good example of the aspects of the story of I wouldn't say it just story, it's just the bear of how it's written. You can interpret it as that, but Noah's Ark and Sodom and Gomorrah and the Passover with Moses and everything, these situations here. Now, there's an instance, and those, correct me how you feel, weigh in on, chime on this. There's an instance in the story where, in the chapter where Noah is, hiding his shame, and he doesn't quite know, and is very involved and very detailed, and it's really reflection of how low the depths that you can get when you are consumed by sin. Like, what do? You feel remorseful for that, and also with the aspects of Sodom and Gomorrah, and these things with the realities of the situation, which these things still gonna happen in certain Mediterranean, extending out to Middle Eastern countries where the value of women aren't really, is different. They're not, quote unquote, as they're trying to say, equal, whatever. And then the way in which, the situation was brought up and addressed in with Sodom and Gomorrah is really reflecting of true life. How these things were going on, happening. And then with Moses and Passover and the aspects of making sure you put X's on the door, and so you can pass on. You don't get your family's protected, your baby's protected, and everything. Now, you look at it for what it is. It's really a story about the aspects of really reflecting the aspects of how rule and control can happen when you don't abide by something. And that's what should be. Yes, ma'am. Alright, so you hear breathing in the background. It's my son. It's our son. So he wants to listen in. Alright, so as I was saying, I can't stress enough, if you have that take, you just see things for what it is, and then you see how, you take in a consideration how other people see it, and you give your thoughts about how you think. It'll be a lot better when it comes to the ideas and the understanding about, in this case, Christianity. And so I think for the most part, that's what they got that's where they got things right when it came to certain situations that were addressed in show episodes. Excuse me. And the episodes that were in the series. They took into consideration the grounds of reality of what was addressed in the Bible by certain situations, and then reflected this into a modern lens and a modern audience and all of this. And see, that was really interesting about the aspects of content and shows that were being released in the 90s throughout the 2000s, and then versus what we have today. They respected the aspects that the audience can either take it for what it is or read in between the lines. Those are the two things to hash out here with Touched by an Angel, right? Or they don't over-explain, and that's what's missing a lot, and that's what's so bad with a lot of the elements of entertainment that we see today. It's so much content out there where they feel that it's necessary to over-explain something when you can simply have it. The story says it all without this excessive need to over-explain or this excessive need to put some agenda where it just doesn't. It's misplaced. It's just shockingly misplaced. And see, that takes away from the merit of where the original source is from. And so, and that's what was interesting to me to wrap everything up when it came to Touched by an Angel. They managed to have all these different elements in there to where, it made you think. Have all these elements in there where, with parental guidance, family, friendly content. But there's some in there where it's more edgier than others. But for the most part, it's pretty safe for the kiddos to sit down and watch. And some, and then the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, I think originally it aired on Sundays, which is apropos because, it's Christian overtones to the show. That, this is what this is, so, why not? And it's something to reflect and wind down and feel good. There's a sort of element to your, everyday, workaday life or what have you. It is really something quite refreshing and unique about that. Alright, so with this said, I'm reaching the end, and I would like to know what you all think. Alright, feel free to continue the conversation. Alright, you can do this two ways. You can either email me or make all the comments on YouTube. I greatly appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Alright, so this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. Tune in, turn up, and definitely take care. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.